I spent a lot of my career in my 20s and 30s thinking I was there by the grace and favor of my employer, that somehow I was lucky to be in the job I was in. And that meant that I didn't really feel I could ask for what I wanted. So here's the story. I had been anchoring a TV show for the BBC, and they wanted to introduce a new format. And I'd been doing this 2 or 3 days a week, and I had just had my 4th child. So I had a ton of kids at home. They were little, they needed a lot of attention. I really loved my job and wanted to carry on working in my job, but I needed to fit this puzzle together. And my bosses came to me and said, okay, we're revamping the show. We're moving it to 8 o'clock in the evening, and we need you to do a 5-day week. And in my head, alarm bells went off, and I started thinking to myself, oh my God, this new show is going to mean that I am in the office from 12 until 9 every day. And basically that means I'm not going to see my kids from Monday to Friday because they are in school. And by the time they get home from school, I will be in the office. So I said to my boss, who was a woman, a great woman, and I said to her, listen, you know what? I really want to do this show, but I need to do it as a 4-day week. I can't do 5 days a week and never see my kids. And the BBC came back to me and said, no, you absolutely have to do a 5-day show. You know, anyone with ambition is going to do 5 days. How could you possibly not want to be on television the whole time? In my industry, the more minutes you spend on television, the more likelihood you are to have your photograph on the back of a bus. And that is a great thing for television people. And so how could I possibly not want that? And the implication was that I wasn't really dedicated, that I wasn't really committed, because I had raised this red flag back of, you know, this was in the late 90s, of wanting to have more time with my kids. And I was really adamant. I had this feeling in my stomach, the kind of pit of my stomach, which was like a gut reaction of kind of feeling slightly nauseous at the prospect of doing the show 5 days a week, of missing out on all of that time at home, basically of not seeing my kids in the week. So I stuck to my guns and I kind of said, no, this is really what I want. But I felt very trepidatious because I felt they're going to think I'm difficult, and they're going to discount me, and they're going to put me on the mummy track, and they're going to think I'm not serious. And I was up on Capitol Hill one day, and I was doing live shots, reporting on American politics. It was around the time of the Lewinsky scandal, and so America was like this hot subject. Europeans, by the way, could not understand all the fuss about a blue dress. This was very un-European to make so much fuss about this. But anyway, that was the story I was covering. And my phone went between live shots, and it was in my handbag, and I knew that it was my boss coming back with their final answer. And I didn't want to answer the phone. And the phone is ringing, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, and I'm literally breaking out into a sweat and thinking, oh my God, this is the call. I have to take it. I have to defend myself. I have to ask for what I want. God forbid, they're going to think I'm so difficult. I really don't want to take the call. And then finally I said to myself, oh, for God's sake, Katty, you know, you're a 40-year-old woman. You can take a damn phone call. So I put my hand into my bag and I pull out just in time the phone call, and it was my boss. And she said to me, look, we don't want to have the reputation for being family friendly. We actually want to be family friendly. And if the only way you can do this is a 4-day week, we will make it happen, because we really value your experience and your talent on air. And for me, it was a kind of revelation moment. I had set a red line. I was very clear in my head about what was possible and what was not possible, and I was totally prepared to walk away. I had said to them, listen, if you want somebody else to anchor it and me to fill in, I can do that. I can carry on reporting. It's okay. I'd love to anchor it, but it's not the be all and end all. This red line is really fixed for me. And I came away from that conversation with a feeling of triumph, not just because I had got what I wanted, but because I had set my limits and I had made it clear what was possible. And they had come back to me and said, yep, we want you, you're valuable, we will take you on your terms. And I think for me, that really was the beginning. That one phone call on that day up on Capitol Hill, reporting on the Lewinsky scandal, was sort of the beginning of my work on women and their value in the workforce, and the ability of women to ask for and get what they need. And that led into our work on confidence.